Okay, so if you're taking any kind of algebra course, you need to know how to do this. Matter of fact, you must know how to do this to be successful in algebra. And what are we talking about here? Well, looks like we want to add some fractions, and that's exactly what we want to do. But typically, when we're talking about fractions, most students don't like fractions. The typical expression is this: fractions. Oh no, anything but fractions. Please make me do 1,000 push-ups. I get it. Nobody really likes fractions, but maybe you like fractions. It doesn't make a difference. The bottom line is you need to know how to do this, and it's not that difficult. Now, if you think you already know how to do this, you can pause the video and go ahead and come up with your answer, and then we can kind of compare notes. But you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to show you two ways, and you're going to want to know both methods to approach how to add a problem, how to add fraction problems like this. Now, technically in algebra, we don't call these fractions. This is a fraction like this. This is also what we call a rational number. So really, these are called rational expressions, but yeah, they look like fractions with variables, and effectively, that's kind of what they are. But I'm going to get into exactly what we need to do here in just 1 second. But first, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher, and over several years, I've constructed what I like to believe is one of the best online math programs there is. Now, I said that pretty quickly, and that's a pretty bold statement. Of course, I'll let you be the judge of that. You can check out my math help program if you're interested by following the link in the description of this video. But basically, I have 100 plus different math courses ranging from pre-algebra, algebra 1 geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calculus. This is my latest course I just launched. But I also have many courses in the area of test preparation. So if you're studying for the GED, SAT, ACT, GRE, GMAT, ASVAB, Accuplacer, ALEX, maybe the CLEP exam, maybe a teacher certification exam like the CBEST or Praxis, maybe a nursing school entrance exam like the TEAS. There's so many different exams out there that people have to take, and they um, share this one thing in common. They all have a math section. So somebody must think math is pretty important. So if you don't do well in the math section, you don't do well in exam, so I can help you prepare. Just go to my website, check out my full course catalog. If I don't have your exam, drop me a line and I'll help you out the best I can. I also do a lot with homeschooling. So if you homeschool, I have a great homeschool learning program. Been working with homeschoolers for 15 plus years. And then lastly, I help those of you who are having a tough time in your current math courses. Now, if you are at a tough time, if you're struggling a bit and, math's not your thing, well, you got to be serious about this. If you're truly serious and you're like, okay, I'm really ready to improve, then you have to be serious about note taking. Okay, I've been teaching math for decades. And the one thing I can point to with consistency is those students every day working hard, taking fantastic math notes. They're the students that, let's say, someone has been out sick for 3 days, okay, and they come back to class and they go to this student because their notes are like awesome. They're like, hey, can I copy your notes? Like, who would you copy notes from? Or would you copy your own notes? If your notes look like this, like scribble scratch, like mine did way back in the good old 1980s, when I looked at them, I was like, I'm like, what is that? Right? So, listen, if that's your situation, don't feel so bad, okay, because so many people take average notes or maybe no notes, right? But guess what? That's going to end you up with grades like this. You have to take notes. It's about focus, and you got to stay focused all the time. All right. So just believe me when I tell you, if you're having a tough time in math, start correcting your notes, and things will improve. But in the meantime, you still need something to study from. So you can use my notes if you like. Those would include pre-algebra, algebra 1 geometry, algebra 2, and trigonometry. You can find the links to those in the description of this video as well. Okay, so here we're going to add up these two rational expressions, these two fractions. So let's take a look at how to deal with just basic fractions with arithmetic. Okay, so here we have the same problem, 1/3 plus 2/5, and I'm going to approach this in two ways. Now, if you recall, when you're dealing with fractions, whether you're adding or subtracting, you're dealing with the lowest common denominator. And this is where typically students are like, oh, I hate the LCD, and I get it. Now here, the LCD is pretty easy to find, but if I, was to be like a mean person, I could be like this. I can make a problem like that. 1 over 30 plus 2 over 158. Now you'd be like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work. Yeah, that is, much more work than obviously this problem, because intuitively, most of you already know, oh, the LCD is 15. Now, if you need to learn about the LCD, if you need to review this, I have tons of videos on it. Check out my pre-algebra playlist. And they're pretty popular videos as well. Okay, like hundreds of thousands of views. So there's a lot of people out there that really don't know how to find the LCD of fractions. Not only that, when we're dealing with finding the LCD when there's variables involved, that's fairly complicated. Okay, so you need to know how to find the LCD, and most of you would know that the LCD is 15. Okay, now if you don't know why the LCD, the lowest common denominator, is 15, well, check out some of my videos in my pre-algebra playlist and, master that skill. It's absolutely critical. All right, so the LCD is 15. So let's approach this problem this way, okay? Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that we can't add or subtract fractions unless the denominators are the same. Now, we have two different denominators here, so that's not going to work. We need to get these denominators the same, which means we're going to have to rewrite this fraction. Let me put this over here, okay, and such that the denominators are both the lowest common denominator, okay, which of course is 15. So how do I get these fractions to look like fractions that have 15 on the bottom? Well, we got to fix these guys up. So we're going to multiply this one by 5. 5 times 3 will give me a 15. All right, perfect. And this one I'll multiply by 3. 3 times 5 gives me 15. But guess what? Because I multiplied the denominator by 5, I also got to multiply the numerator. You got to be fair. 5 times 1 is 5. Okay, so this 1/3 I can write as 5/15. Okay, but again, the reason why I rewrote this is because I want 15 down here in the denominator. Okay, so 5 times 3, that's 15, of course. And so, but I have to multiply that numerator by 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. All right, beautiful. So now that we have our fractions, they both have the same denominator. Now I'm ready to go ahead and add. It's just the denominator, that lowest common denominator. As long as these are the same, I just write it one time. And then I go, oh, 5 plus 6, that's going to be my answer here, which of course is 11. All right, so that is our answer. And if you got that right, let me go ahead and give you a little happy face with a little mohawk. Good job. Yeah, this is pretty easy stuff, but let's start with just the concepts here before we get into that and, the stuff that involves the algebra. Now, you need to know how to deal with fractions by finding the LCD. You have to know how to do this, okay? However, if you've followed any of my videos, I come up with these little videos I call like best fraction hack, like awesome fraction tip, and it is awesome. You need to know this as well, okay? So there's two approaches here, and you need to know both. The first is how to find the LCD and add. The second is this little bow tie method, okay? So just a quick review on this. Again, you can watch more extensive videos on this in my pre-algebra playlist. But basically, I could do this problem using this method called the bow tie, just like a little bow tie like this that a person would wear. We're going to follow this pattern. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to take this number, the bottom right, and we're going to multiply this way. Okay, so what's that? 5 times 1, that is 5. Now, because this is an addition problem, I'm going to put an addition right there, addition operator, and then we're going to go 3 times 2. You can see our little bow tie coming into play. So 3 times 2 is what? 6. Interesting. 5 and 6. Does that look kind of familiar? We had to get this right here, this little bow right here, starting this way and this way, this forms our numerator. And to get our denominator, we just multiply 3 times 5. We go this way, all right? 3 times 5, of course, is 15. And look at that. We have 11 over 15. How awesome is that? They're the same answer, okay? So some of you might like this. Oh, forget this way. This way is so much easier. I'll do this all the time. Listen, I need you to know this. All right, this is excellent. However, you can't disregard your understanding of the LCD. You need that as well. But these are two methods that you can use to handle this problem, okay, or problems like this. Now, this is a fairly not overly difficult problem where we're adding rational expressions, but we're going to use it just to kind of reinforce these concepts. Again, you need to practice this stuff beyond this video. But let's go ahead and handle this. Let's first find the LCD. Okay, so what's the LCD when we are dealing with variable situations? Well, again, we want to have the same denominator. We're like, all right, I got a 4x plus 8 and I got an x plus 2. What would be the same denominator? Well, the best way to approach this is to factor the denominators, okay? So let's factor this. This one you can't factor anymore. So when I factor this, I got 4 times x plus 2. Now here I have an x plus 2, okay? Now there's no parentheses there, but you could put parentheses in. Matter of fact, I would recommend that you do so. So let's compare these denominators. This has a x plus 2, this has a x plus 2, this has a 4. So if I wanted to make these denominators the same, what can I do? Well, these would be perfectly the same as long as this guy had 4. If this one had 4, this would be the same as this. So why don't we just fix it up? Okay, so we'll multiply this one here by 4 and multiply this one by 4. Remember, whatever we do to the denominator, we must do to the numerator, okay, if we want to rewrite this fraction. So we're going to multiply both the denominator and numerator by 4, and then we'll have these guys looking exactly the same. All right, so let's do that. 4 times this, 4 times that. That gets us, here is our original first fraction. That's 3 over 4 times x plus 2 plus, now 5 times 4 is 20. And then I got 4 times x plus 2. Now I'm not multiplying it, I'm just leaving it in factored form. But what's the main idea here? The main idea now is that this denominator is the same as this denominator. So now I can just add the numerators, all right? And that's what we do, all right? So we got 4 over x plus 2, just going to write that one denominator, 3 plus 20, that's 23. Now if I wanted to, I could distribute that 4 back in, that would be 4x plus 8. So I can also write it this way. So that is the answer, okay? Now if you got either one of these answers, then I must give you a big happy face with a great big 1984 extra hairspray mohawk, okay, and an A plus and a 100%. That's very good. You're clearly paying attention to your teacher in math class, taking great math notes, or maybe you've been watching some of my other videos on YouTube. Who knows, okay, but nice job. All right, now, this is doing this problem using the LCD. And to find the LCD was pretty easy. It involves factoring, but finding the LCD of more complicated variable expressions is much more challenging than what we went over. Well, you know, it can be, all right? A lot of students get this confused. Just even with basic arithmetic, they get this confused. So I'm going to strongly advise all of you out there to watch my videos on LCD, not only the numbers, but with variable expressions, okay? All right, but let's go ahead now and do the same problem using the bow tie method, okay? The bow tie method, right? So what I showed you with numbers. So how would that work? Well, it's going to be this times this, okay? So x plus 2. Anytime you're multiplying and you don't have parentheses around a sum or difference where there's a variable, put the parentheses in, okay? Because you can make mistakes, all right? So just put those parentheses in. So here's the bow tie method. It's going to be x plus 2 times 3. That's this, okay? We're going to be forming our numerator. Because this is an addition problem, we're going to put an addition symbol there, and then it's going to be 4x plus 8 times 5. Now here, I don't have my parentheses. Anytime you're doing multiplication like this, put the parentheses in, okay? Because then this would be obvious that it's going to be 5 times 4x plus 8. So this forms my numerator, and then my denominator is going to be this times this, right? 4x plus 8 times x plus 2. So I'm just going to write that like so. I'm not going to do the FOIL method and expand. So this looks more complicated than what we did initially, okay? And it is a little more complicated, but you can see it works just the same, okay? And you need to know both ways to handle this problem. All right, now let's go ahead and start simplifying. Here I can do the distributive property. So that's going to be 3x plus 6. You can see that's right there. And then I have 5 times 4x. And 5 times this 8, that's going to give me 20x plus 40. All right, so this is my numerator. Okay, now notice I've still haven't multiplied my denominator. You always want to keep things factored until the end. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. I have a 3x and a 20x that gives me a 23x, and then obviously I got a 6 and a 40. That's a 46, right, over the same denominator. Again, I'm not doing anything there. All right, now what can we do here? Well, I can factor out a 23 in this expression. So that's going to be 23 times x plus 2, okay? Why? Because if I multiply 23 into this and to this, I get back to this expression. Now, the reason why I did that is because once I've got that factored, look what I can do. Okay, this is really cool. I can cross cancel. So 23 times x plus 2. Notice here, I could cross cancel this with this, and that's exactly what I'm doing right there. And that leaves me with 23 over 4x plus 8. Okay, so 23 over 4x plus 8, and hopefully that looks pretty familiar to you because that is the same as this answer, 23 over 4 plus 8, 23 over 4x plus 8. It's the same thing, okay, but we just took a different approach. It's kind of like, taking, leaving point A, you're on a road trip, you're going to point B, and, you could take different routes to get to your destination. All right, one we use the LCD, the other we use the bow tie method. You need to know both routes, okay, because let's say finding an LCD appears to be a little difficult, or you forgot, or you're struggling, well, guess what? You can go this route. Or, this route here can create more work for you, but you still need to know how to find LCD. You need to know both techniques. But in algebra, you're going to be dealing with a lot of fractions, both numeric and rational expressions. Okay, you need to know this stuff. Comes up a lot. So anything I say, hey, you must know how to do this stuff. Believe me, I tell you, yeah, you really do. Okay, but again, you can learn it. Right, and hopefully this video made sense, and hopefully it maybe cleared up any confusion for you. And if that is the case, please do not be confused about smashing that like button. That definitely helps me out. And if you're new to my YouTube channel, please consider subscribing. I've been on YouTube for 10 plus years, have over 1,000 plus math videos, basic to advanced, and I'm posting new stuff all the time. My goal is to teach math in a clear and understandable way. Nobody should be failing math, okay? You have to really take a hard look at what you're doing though, okay? You can't just blame it on your math teacher, blame it on this, blame it on that. You have to start with yourself, right? Are you doing the work? Are you staying focused? Get in communication with your math teacher. Hey, how can I improve? Et cetera, et cetera. But beyond that, if you need additional help, there's tons of free resources out there. So if you like my teaching style, that's the whole reason I make videos, is to help those of you out. So that's excellent. But just remember, my best math help will be within my math help program. Okay, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.